So another concern that we hear is that, well, if I'm not on my kid all the time, he's never going to reach his full potential.
Yeah. Yeah, that comes up a lot in my office too. And my feeling is that none of us know what a kid's potential is, and the kid doesn't know either. And so if we act as if we know what it is, and that I think that we're acting on an incorrect assumption, I think in a way that's often not healthy. And I think that we don't want to work harder to help our kid achieve goals than the kid works himself. Because if we do, the kid does become successful at something, he won't own it and won't feel proud of it because he'll feel like we did it for him. And also because when we work harder to foster kids' development than they work, we weaken them. Because if we're trying to get them to practice all the time and they feel that pressure, they never have to think about practicing. They never have to think about, God, how am I getting better at this? And we want them to. We want their development to be on their radar screen. And I think that if we take the responsibility to think that I've got to be on them all the time to maximize potential, I think it ultimately weakens them and makes it less likely that they really will find something they're passionate about and really go after it, which is ideally the way that we reach our potential. And I will say, too, that when I used to do therapy, and I did therapy for probably 15 years, a lot of it, and a lot with adults, that I was so struck by the fact that almost anybody over 30 or 35 in therapy would say to me, I spent most of my life trying to be the person my parents wanted me to be or live up to the expectations my teachers had for me, and now I'm just trying to figure out who I am, and what's important to me, and what kind of life I want. And I think that if we take this kind of approach that focuses on of fostering this sense of control and the sense of autonomy, we can help kids from the time they're pretty little to figure out who am I, what's important to me, and it keeps changing. But that's what we want, is we want to respect that process. I mean, I think what I say to kids a lot is, you've got a brain in your head, and I want you to use it in part to think about what do you want in your life, how hard do you want to work at this. And I think this question of how are you working as hard as you want to work in terms of potential is a really important question. And I see a lot of kids who will say to me, I wish I could make myself work harder at this. And then we talk about some motivational training or getting a coach or something like that. But I think that we don't want to work harder to push kids than they push themselves.
And the kids that I see who feel like their parents are pushing, they'll do whatever's necessary to meet the limit, to meet the goal, the score, whatever it happens to be, to get their parents off their back. And that's all that they do. They'll work right up to what is necessary and not an iota more, because it isn't necessary. Where kids who are going at something and parents are on the side and paying attention or not, and they're doing it because it's meaningful to them, the amount of enthusiasm, the amount of energy that they'll put in there tends to be multiples more, because they have that sense of control and they're pursuing a goal that's meaningful to them. And it's such a preferred motivational state, such a preferred brain chemical state of really feeling that sense of flow of I'm making progress and I'm going for this. And for parents to think, well, gosh, well, he can meet this level and then I can push him a little bit higher. I would just say, I know in my experience working with kids and as a parent, I really don't want to be in the job of thinking, I need to lean on this kid all the time or he's never going to reach his potential. I mean, that's terrible for him, and it sure isn't fun for me as a parent.
Yeah.